Yes, so this is boosting our podcast. You do the worst miking I have seen here. I used to think Yahoo. Yeah, make up this one. I will be able to come. My brother, let's go before we don't be going out. Good afternoon and welcome. This is Spotlight Africa, and we come to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. I am Uyai MM. Today on Spotlight Africa, United States admits white South African refugees amid controversy. Kenya welcomes Finnish President Stubb for state visit. Putin meets Egypt's El Sisi as trade ties grow. France and Algeria in deepening diplomatic crisis amid tit-for-tat expulsions. Plus, cholera outbreak in Angola kills nearly 600 people. These stories are all just ahead of Spotlight Africa. Stay with us. For joining us. First on Spotlight Africa, Trump's administration has welcomed a small group of white South Africans as refugees, saying they face discrimination and violence at home, which the country's government strongly denies. The decision to admit the 49 people also has raised questions from refugee advocates about why the group should be admitted when the Trump administration has suspended efforts to resettle people who are fleeing war and persecution and have gone through years of vetting before coming to the United States. The Deputy Secretary of the State, Christopher Lado, and Homeland Security Deputy Secretary Troy Edgar, while receiving the group from South Africa, including children at Dole's International Airport, the first ever political consultations, Stubb and his Kenyan country with a global voice on peace and conflict resolution. Elsewhere, Russian President Vladimir Putin held separate talks with his Egyptian and Brazilian counterparts on Friday after attending the Victory Day parade, marking the 80th anniversary of the defeat of the Nazi Germany. With Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, $1 billion last year and keeps growing. Russia marked the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany in the World War II with a massive military parade on Red Square on Friday, attended by a host of foreign leaders, including China's Xi Jinping. Victory Day, which is celebrated in Russia May 9, is the country's most important secular holiday. Away from that, diplomatic relations between France and Algeria have reached a new low following Algeria's recent expulsion of 15 diplomatic agents, intensifying an already volatile situation marked by mutual distrust and retaliatory measures. On May 12, Algeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs summoned the French Charge d'Affaires in Algiers to inform him that 15 French officials were being expelled for holding irregular positions. This move follows a series of escalating actions between the two nations, including Paris expulsions of diplomats on both sides. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot condemned Algeria's decision as unjustified, vowing an immediate and proportional response. Meanwhile, tensions between the two countries have been simmering for months, exacerbated by France's support for Morocco's autonomy plan over the disputed Western Sahara region, a stance that Algeria perceives as a betrayal of its long-standing position supporting the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination. The situation further deteriorated in April when Algeria expelled 12 French embassy staff in response to the arrest of an Algerian consular official in Paris. The official was allegedly involved in the kidnapping of a Franco Algerian activist, Amir Brokos, also known as Amir Dizi, a critic of the Algerian government. France retaliated by expelling 12 Algerian diplomats and recalling its ambassador from Algiers. In a separate development, Angola continues to fight its worst cholera outbreak in 20 years, with the disease spreading to 17 of the country's 21 provinces since January. According to the United Nations agencies, the outbreak has caused nearly 600 deaths and more than 18,000, I beg your pardon, cases as of early May. Angola's Ministry of Health and its partners, including the World Health Organization, respond to the outbreak through case detection, deployment of rapid response teams, and community engagement. The country has also launched a vaccination campaign in February, which has reached 1 million people. Despite these measures, Angola has a case fatality rate of 3.2%, exceeding the 1% threshold used as an indicator for early and adequate treatment of cholera patients. Elsewhere, at least 7 people have died in devastating overnight floods in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. Local officials say torrential rain began on Friday night and lasted for about 10 hours, displacing more than 200 families. 9 houses were destroyed and 6 major roads badly damaged across several districts of the city. According to the Banadir Regional Administration, 2 of the victims were women and hundreds more have lost their homes. One father told newsmen that 2 children died in his neighborhood and that he had never seen rain this heavy in Mogadishu. Meanwhile, another resident said people were trapped in their homes as the storm caused widespread havoc. HRW says Burkina Faso forces killed 100 civilians in March. We'll bring you details on the story and more in a moment. Stay tuned. Human Rights Watch. Just write Human Rights Watch and Human Rights Watch. 6,000. Stop. Till I now remember what 6,000 is. No abbreviations in you. Are you streaming on YouTube? Are you streaming on website? As we are doing like this, just call social media. Tell the people stand and collect it now and post on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, YouTube is already so they just wait. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. It's still Spotlight Africa, bringing you more stories out of Africa this afternoon. We see that at least 100 civilians were killed by Burkina Faso government forces in March near the western town of Solenzo, Human Rights Watch said Monday. According to victim testimony and video shared on social media gathered by the rights group, the attackers were Burkina Faso's special forces and members of a pro-government militia, the Volunteers for these Defense of the Homeland. The victims were all ethnic Fulani, a pastoralist community that is widespread across the region, which the government has long accused of supporting Muslim militants. An earlier report from Human Rights Watch stated that the government's involvement was likely because of video evidence on social media, although the findings were not definitive. Meanwhile, the government issued a sharp denial when first reports surfaced, saying in a statement it condemned the propagation on social media of images inducing hate and information aimed at undermining social cohesion in the country. Away from that, Thiam blamed judicial harassment for his decision to leave the presidency of the Democratic Party of Cote d'Ivoire, PDCI. The PDCI was due to meet on Monday to name an interim leader. Thiam's presidency was already the subject of a court challenge. A party activist petitioned courts questioning the legality of his election as party leader in December of 2023. It is the latest roadblock the former banker has faced in his quest to become Ivory Coast president. Recall that last month, a magistrate in Abidjan invoked the country's nationality law to order Thiam's removal from the voters' register, effectively ending his bid for the presidency. Thiam held French citizenship before renouncing it to become Ivorian. In a video statement Sunday, Thiam said he was the target of an harassment campaign. He accused his attackers of instrumentalizing the judiciary. Lastly, today on Spotlight Africa, Malawian cricket is in mourning after the death of top official Arjun Menon on Saturday night. A statement from the Malawi National Council of Sports said that the 48-year-old had been brutally murdered at his residence in Blantyre. Local police in the Southern African nation are yet to issue a statement following Menon's death. Menon, a wicket-keeper who represented Singapore 5 times at senior level, was the operations manager of Cricket Malawi. MNCS Chief Executive Dr. Henry Kamata said Menon's contributions to the sport were immense and far-reaching, and that he had played a pivotal role in the growth and success of the national side. And that's all we have today on Spotlight Africa, bringing you stories all around the continent. This has been put together by Spectrum Television. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find at spectrumtvlive.ng. My name is Uyai MM. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.